Hi guys, Van Hammer again. Hopefully this is going to come out. I have reasons it's taking me so long to get this video up, but I can't get this thing to micro in far enough to get a decent picture of this technique. So I'm going to try something a little different here. I've got some blue tack that you just use to hold the miniatures on the paint bottles with. It shows up a little bit better on the camera, I suppose. But what I'm going to do is try to show you basically the simplest technique for getting a fur effect on out of green stuff. Basically, it's fairly simple. Like say this is the miniature that's the green stuff stuck on. Granted, this would be a fairly large section of green stuff. That's why another one of the reasons I went ahead and used this instead of green stuff is it's kind of expensive to use that much green stuff for a demonstration. So I'm just gonna, what you do is you get your green stuff out, and little technique is I use glass to roll the stuff out on. Take and wet it with your finger. Keep you some water handy. Wet down your area you're going to work in. That way it don't stick. The green stuff is just like this. It's fairly sticky, so it's a pretty good simulation. Get your where you want your work at. Take your tool, dip it in the water, get it a little wet so it doesn't stick to the green stuff. And basically what you do is you'll start working into it, pushing in, pulling out. And what that does, it leaves little indentions. And as you pull it, you start working it around, and you'll notice basically it start turning into sort of fur looking. I don't know, probably really can't see it too well on the camera, but I'll get out a miniature here in a minute and show you so that you can see it a little better but you just work it around, and once you get desired size or whatever. One of the things that I've found doing this is if you start up and then pull down like this, where you're stretching the green stuff to the area you want, what it does, it puts your little marks and stretches them. And whenever they stretch out, it looks more like fur or hair or whatever. It gives you that uneven look. So I wish this would come through better on this macro, but for some reason I can't get it working well tonight. But you just keep it up until you get what you want. And like I say, I found it's easier to start and pull down into it, like that. And you just start you another row, pulling down, and what it does, like I say, it gives you a stretched out fur look. I don't know if you can see that real well, but by doing it like that, and like I say, you got that one ridge right there. What you would do, all you have to do is just grab it and pull it down a little bit, and it brings it out. What you want to do, especially when you get down around the edge, say this will be a cloak for like a guy or whatever, is say make it kind of ragged around the edge, and it gives it that, see how it sort of splayed out there for fur. And let's go back to my glass here. One of the reasons I like to use the glass, excuse me, is like say when you wet, you get your little work area. Like say your stuff your green stuff won't stick to it. It's easy, especially with wet glass. So it just scoots around, and what you do is you roll out your green stuff. Basically, you just roll out flat, and once you roll it for a little bit, just flip it over, roll it some more, and what you end up getting is a much smoother piece of green stuff. And once it's smooth and easier to, like I say, it's great for when you're making cloth stuff, is doing it on glass. Or, well, suppose some of you guys use ceramic plates or whatever for your mixing trays. I suppose those would work too. If make sure you clean it real well so it's nice and smooth. I keep a paper towel underneath this. That's what you're seeing is the paint. The glass itself is clean. The paint is just from where I've dabbed onto the paper towel underneath of it, and I just pull it. As I want clean towel, I just pull it across. But that's just testing color paint. And it just, like I say, slowly gets moved across, and I keep fresh clean. Keep a fresh clean towel with the edge on the paint. But another thing on your green stuff, like I say, this stuff especially when you're stretching it like that. What you want to do is, like, if you mix up, say,